know, I don't know what happened here before, but I seem to hear a faint ticking sound, you know? Like a time bomb.
Oh, maybe it was before, but I diffused it.
Hey, that's wonderful. How'd you manage that?
It's easy when you know what the weakness is of the other person.
Yeah, the old Achilles heel bit, eh? All right. What's Joe Riley's Achilles heel?
I don't know.
But you just said it.
He is not the enemy. I don't have to worry about him.
Ah, okay, Viki.
Viki. Well, she is a very intelligent, charming, and strong woman. In every way, her father's daughter. But she also inherited from her father an inordinate pride, an almost obsessive love for Joe and her family.
That's a weakness.
My dear Marco, that kind of love always involves deep commitment. And commitment always makes one vulnerable. And Viki is a great deal more vulnerable than she thinks. Which, unless I'm sadly mistaken, she's about to find out very soon.
Send them in, Joanne. See, we're not disturbed. Here.
Thanks for seeing me, Joe.
Sounded important.
Well, I know that you're busy, but there just isn't much time, so I'll get right to the point. Okay. On the basis of a number of things that have happened today, I've come to a pretty difficult decision. And it's going to make things tough for you, too. Joe, either you tell Viki, right now on the phone, the truth about your physical condition, or I will.
Peter, I realize you had my best interest at heart, but you made a commitment. You gave me your word. You wouldn't tell me.
No, that was before today.
Well, I can only assume something serious has happened. What is it?
Well, actually, Joe, it's a whole series of events, but I'm not going to bore you with the details. It all pretty much comes down to this. Look, I have researched your case thoroughly. I consulted with two of the best neurologists in the country. Now, I never mentioned your name, of course.
Sit down.
Thank you.
What did they say?
Well, they said essentially the same thing that Lucas and Webb had said. Now, I didn't expect a new diagnosis, Joe. No, what I was looking for was confirmation of the suspicion that I'd had about an unexplained event in your case history.
What event is that?
Well, the episode at Landfair, where you apparently became violent.
Not apparently. I saw the room. It was a hell of a mess.
Joe, you don't remember creating that destruction.
I never remember anything that goes on when I have an attack.
But it never occurred during any of your other seizures.
Huh?
Well, both of my consultants agree with me. That's highly unusual. Don't you see? Look, the pattern of the patient's behavior during the seizure is almost unrepeatable.
So what you're saying is, you've seen one, you've seen them all?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Except in my case.
Exactly.
Because of this, you decided to pick up a ball and run?
Joe, I wish that I could explain this thing more fully to you, but I just don't have concrete evidence.
Evidence of what?
Your marriage could be in very big trouble now unless you tell Viki the whole story from beginning to end. Hey, look, can I get you a refill on that?
No, thank you. Do you know the time?
I think it's a few minutes after 7.
Joe should have called by now.
Why is he supposed to?
He said he'd let me know if he could make it for dinner.
Well, he's probably tied up with something.
With whom? With what?
Hey, look, he's got a newspaper to run, right? Anything could have happened. Maybe that crazy kid reporter shot up another skyrocket or something.
Surely Peter Jansen would have gone to Joe. Not when his job is in jeopardy, and I certainly made that very clear.
Well, there's one way to find out. Call in.
And say what?
That you're waiting dinner on him. What's the holdup? Or, are you afraid to find out?
Well, Joe, what's it going to be?
I'm not going to pick up that phone and call her just because you say so, unless you think there's some other way she'd find out.
No, I have no reason to believe that you will.
Then why are you putting me on the spot like this? Dr. Lucas is going to take that CAT scan test in New York a week from Friday. At which time I'll know what my medical future is, if I have one at all. So why should I have Viki worrying for 10 days, huh?
Because of what may happen during that time. I mean, while you're in New York.
Huh?
All right, Joe. All right, look, I didn't want to spell this out to you. This is all speculation. But I believe that Dorian is systematically trying to tie you closer and closer to her. This may come as a big shock to you, Joe, but you know that Dorian and I are friends. I mean, she opens up to me probably more than she does to anybody else. Dorian is desperately, obsessively in love with you, Joe. And she will do anything to take you away from Viki. What are you doing? You're not denying the possibility now. I'm just wondering why I haven't noticed it before. Because Dorian never intended for you to know. Don't you see, she's much too smart for that. I mean, she's carefully kept her distance. She knew that a frontal attack, well, it would fail because of the way you feel about Viki. But you see, she has created a whole new ballgame. I mean, now she's maneuvered this thing so that you and Viki are virtually estranged.
Come on, that is not so.
All right, you're physically separated, but for Dorian's purposes, that's good enough. The two of you share a vital secret. I mean, a secret that's brought you very close. She's your closest confidant now, right?
No doubt about that.
Well, but you see, that's put her in a position now to drive a wedge between you and Viki. All that's required of you right now at this moment is for you to do absolutely nothing.
Peter, I appreciate you telling me this.
I guess I had to. The only way I feel about you and Viki. All right. Who's going to make the phone call, you or me?
I'm coming.
Good. Good night, Joe.
Now, Peter, you going to wait around and make sure I do come?
Give Viki one.
Hey, Doc. Thanks.
The part of Dr. Will Vernon will be played by Anthony George.
Sam?
You asleep? Aren't you feeling well?
Okay.
What's the matter, honey?
I burned your dinner.
Oh. Just mine? You mean yours is okay?
Calm down. It's not funny.
That's no big deal.
I'm just upset about burning a stupid dinner. Just triggered it off, that's all.
Want to talk about it?
Daddy, I never realized how much Mother did around here.
Well, if you're trying to confuse me, you're doing a good job of it.
Just ignore me. I'm mostly talking to myself.
Fascinating topics. I mean, a while ago, you're talking about diffusing bombs. Now you're acting all girlish and coy at the prospect of phoning Joe Reilly.
I don't go all girlish, Marco. That is hardly my style.
Well, I'd vouch for that if I wasn't watching this performance.
What performance?
Did you or did you not make a tentative dinner date with Joe?
He said that he would call if you were free, yes.
Oh, and since he hasn't called, you're worried, right?
Naturally.
So why don't you pick up the phone and ask the Irishman whether he's coming or not, instead of acting so coy about it?
I don't go coy.
But you're nervous and afraid. Why?
Shoot.
Well, it's just that I never knew her. All right, Mom was my mother, of course, but I didn't know her. It just seemed so awful.
Last several years, I didn't know her either.
That's what marriage is. I don't think I'll ever get married.
Oh, come on.
No, I mean it. Dad, if I fall in love with someone, great, then we'll live together. And when the feeling's gone, we'll split. You know, there are lots of people who live together who are not married.
You're saying that makes me feel very sad, because your mother and I formed your opinions about marriage. And it was the example we set that made you decide you want no part of it.
No, Dad, I didn't mean that as a criticism of you.
Oh, it's all right, honey. It's all right.
Do you remember Wendy from Montana?
Yeah, sure. What about her?
No, I was just thinking how we used to share all our secrets, tell each other our feelings about everything. We could talk for hours.
Sam, what made you think about Wendy?
I don't know.
Was it because you have nobody in your life right now that you can talk freely with?
Oh, Dad, I can say just about anything to you.
Well, sure, I know, but it's not quite the same as sharing things with another woman, is it?
No, I guess not.
Honey, didn't you have that kind of relationship with Jenny?
Well, I told her everything.
You miss it?
What difference does that make? She's not a part of my life any longer.
She could be.
No, she could not be.
Sam, Jenny hasn't changed. She's still the same wonderful person she's always been.
There is conversation on that line. Thank you very much, operator. That means he is talking to Viki and probably telling her how great he feels and how much he misses her.
Well, what do you want him to say? How lousy he feels and how glad he is that she's away?
Why don't you just make yourself a drink and then put a little arsenic in it?
Why are you so ticked off at Peter Jansen?
You weren't present when Peter and I were talking, and I certainly didn't tell you our conversation, so I don't see why you're making these assumptions.
You must be kidding.
You know, Uncle, you walk a very thin line. And one day you're going to take a small step too far.
Oh, God, I love it. One small step too far. Make a phenomenal movie title. But look, why don't you just say it?
You're a mess. Do you know that?
Mrs. Lord, ma'am.
Yes, my little man.
Oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, for heaven's sakes, why don't you just say whatever the hell is on your mind?
Okay, why are you so angry with Peter Jansen?
Because he's an idiot. And he's so stupid not to realize that I could break him in half if I wanted to.
Amazing.
Yeah, right. He must realize that I've made his career. Surely he's bright enough to see that I could break him in half if I wanted to.
You're a dangerous woman, Mrs. Lord.
Peter Jansen is going to realize just how dangerous it is towards the issue.
Do you mind telling me just exactly what issue it is you're speaking of?
Peter wouldn't be foolish enough to go see Joe. The phone just gave one little chirp and then nothing, and you're the only one I know who would call me here.
That was me. I had a brilliant idea, but I hadn't quite worked it out.
You decided you can't live for another second without me, so you're coming up here after.
Half true.
Explain, please.
Well, since my schedule is so tough and I can't drive up there, you're going to pack up the nurse and Kevin and drive straight home.
When?
As soon as possible.
Why, something wrong?
No, of course not.
Are you sure?
Well, I'm sure I don't want my wife and Helen gone up there while I'm down here alone.
Oh, really? And why did you you insist we come up here in the first place?
Well, obviously, because I'm a damn fool.
Will you come home, sweetheart?
We'll leave first thing in the morning.
Any chance of coming home today?
Joe, why do I get the feeling that this is an emergency?
Well, because I'd stoop to anything to get my own way. Now, you know that.
Of course, it's more convenient for you to come home tomorrow.
No. We'll be home tonight. Is Mr. Riley's line still busy? Oh, fine, thank you. Now that he's through with his husband noises, maybe he'll be free to come for dinner. This is Dorian.
Yes, Dorian?
Did we have a little misunderstanding?
What do you mean?
Well, I thought you were going to call me and let me know if you'd be free for dinner.
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't be free.
Did you make other dinner arrangements?
No, I just have a lot of work to do, Dorian.
Well, you're going to have to take a break sometime and eat.
And not necessarily.
Joe, you sound so cross.
Just harassed, busy.
I see. You didn't by any chance see Peter this evening, did you?
He left here about half an hour ago. Why?
Oh, I was just curious. Well, he's been so strange lately.
Oh?
I suppose he tried to convince you to call Viki.
I did call Becky.
I guess that accounts for your mind being busy for so long. Well, how is she?
She's fine, thank you, Dorian. And I do have a lot of work to do.
What did you and Peter talk about?
My health and my way.
I really would like to see you, Joe. We have so many things to talk about.
We've talked enough, Dorian. The one person I haven't talked to enough is Viki, and I'm just about to fix that.
Are you going to tell her about your illness?
Yes, I am.
Did Peter convince you to do that?
Let's just say I came to my senses.
I see. I don't have to tell you that I think that you're making a mistake.
That's right, Dorian. You don't have to tell me.
Can I just warn you that, well, Vicky's been through so many terrible things this last year, and I'm not sure that she could cope with this.
Dorian, this is a lot stronger than you give her credit for being. I'm sorry about dinner. Good night.
So am I. Good night, Joe. What are you smirking about?
Well, I'm just trying to figure out whether this little rejection affects my plans for the evening.
I don't care about your damn evening plan.
Really? Well, it looks to me as if you're in a lousy mood and you might just want me to stick around and amuse you.
Oh, Marco. Maybe sometimes you're diverting, but you are never amusing.
All right, let's not quibble. Do you want me to stick around and divert you?
I should have forced Joe to fire that little...
Now what are you talking about?
Richard Abbott. Of all the people to be in Joe's office to see that seizure, I'm going to fix his way.
Well, I'm splitting. I'm in no mood to listen to you plan dire revenge. If it's all the same to you, I'll take off.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Just wonderful. I'm alone
ground round and have hamburgers for breakfast.
Oh, I think I like that.
Honey, okay if I bring up a serious subject?
What is it?
How do you feel about this house?
What do you mean?
Well, I wondered if you had an emotional feeling about it, a feeling of security that might warrant our keeping it.
No, not really. I think a house is really just the people who are in it. I understand, though, if it holds bad memories for you. I wouldn't mind moving.
Good. Because I don't think I'd like living here alone after you leave for college next month.
About college. Dad, I'm not sure I'll be going to college. So, may I talk to you for a couple of minutes?
To convince you I have a lot of work to do, can I?
Oh, you're convincing me by the repetition of it.
Well, Dorian, whatever it is you're determined to tell me, I appreciate it if you make it short and sweet.
Yes, I'll try. Joe, have I offended you in any way? Have I offended you in any way?
Why do you ask the thing?
Oh, this abrupt decision to burden Viki with the details of your illness.
Dorian, perhaps we should talk for a minute. Well, no one knows better than you the anxiety I've felt since I had that first seizure. Somewhere along the line, I seem to have lost my sense of balance. I forgot that the marriage vows I took in sickness as well. And instead of sharing my pain and fears with my wife, the one person in the world who has a right to know my deepest feelings, I'm afraid I put the burden on you.
But Joe, I wanted that burden. In fact, I don't even consider that a burden. Sharing that with you has just brought us closer together.
You see, if a close friend like you can feel even closer by sharing my problems, then don't you think it was foolish of me to deny myself the comfort of the one woman in the world I love?
I hope Viki won't misunderstand why I knew about the illness. She didn't.
Don't worry. I'll tell her that this whole hair-brained scheme to keep her in the dark about it was mine. Well, I expect Viki back about 11 o'clock. I would like to do another hour's work here. I'm sorry about that. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for helping me through here.
Yes, I can see you really do have a lot of work to do. Well, good night, Joe.
Dorian. You've been very supportive, very helpful through this whole thing. Again, many thanks.
No, I'm not sure.
Well, I'll be sure for both of us.
Marco.
Sammy, it's all right. We love each other.
Sweetheart, I wasn't expecting you back for at least another hour. You must have been cruising down that highway at 95 miles an hour at least.
All right, Joe, let's have it. There's nothing wrong. I want you to tell me what it is.
Oh, honey, please.
Please, don't pretend. I know you do well tonight.
Where's Kevin?
Kevin is at home with the nurse, where I dropped them off, and I came here to find you.
Yes, I'm afraid so.
Are you frightened? Something happened to someone. Who is it? Please tell me what it is. Please.
Sorry, honey. Didn't mean to frighten you.
So is it you? Now what is it? What's the matter?
Now, Vicky, I have a slight medical problem.
Oh,
I'm not too sure what it is just yet.
what do they think it is?
Well, I'm having a few minor strokes.
You're having a few minor strokes. Or what?
Or I have a brain tumor.
Hey, why don't you stop lying to yourself? You were responding
I know. You have to stop.
Why should I stop when I know you want me?
I can't seem to think straight when you're that close to me.
Well, you're not supposed to think when you're making love.
Marco, I'll yell if I have to. Now don't.
Oh, forget it. This is ridiculous.
Look, I'm sorry if you listen.
Well, but you'll be relieved to know I won't be bothering you anymore.
Well, you can't just leave like this.
Why not?
I mean, it's like you're walking out on me. You can't.
That's right. That's exactly what I'm about to do. That's what you want, isn't it?
No.
Well, that's what I want. It's not my style to go hanging around with a girl who acts like she's 14 years old. You know, it's mind-boggling to think that you're going to be 18 years old next week. You're probably going to be the only virtuous 18-year-old in the United States. What could be more boring?
You mean that this has been going on for weeks? And no one thought to tell me?
You can blame me for that.
I do blame you. Joe, how could you shut me out of your life like that?
Because I am a damn fool.
Yes, you certainly were. But that Jim and Larry should be such damn fools along with you, I cannot comprehend.
Oh, Mom. They don't know anything about this.
What?
That's right.
Oh, God, Joe. And you're not going to tell me you haven't even been to a hospital.
Oh, yes. But I didn't go to Landview Hospital.
Oh, really? Well, where did you go?
Richmond Memorial?
Why, is there a specialist there who knows more or something?
This seemed wise to me.
father to hear you crying. You want him to come down here and pick up that chair and start whacking me over the head with it?
Yes! No.
It is true, you know, that I get that way only because I love you so much. You know, making love is such a beautiful thing. And I want to share it with you.
I know you must be right in it. It must be beautiful later on. But it's not supposed to be the first time, and I'm very scared.
Yeah. But it depends on the man you're with. Sam, I want to be that man. Now, I don't want to hassle you or anything, but I've been thinking. Next week is your 18th birthday. And I think that would be the perfect evening for it.
Jansen, perhaps I don't ever want to see him again in my whole life. Dr. Vernon, maybe I have such a crazy life. What is it? It's just filled up with things like this priceless 17th century piece. And what are the things? Oh, yes, we have this beautiful painting. I don't even know how much it's worth anymore. What else? What else? Oh, my rock. My glorious rock. I remember Victor telling me how priceless it is and what a shame we have to walk on it because it costs so much money. Felicia, that's what my life is. It's just things with money and power. But I don't have enough power to buy the one thing I want. Just one thing, please. Just one thing. It's a man I love. One man to love and I can't have him.
Yeah. It'll be my present to you.
It's 1 week away, Marco. I cannot feel.
I understand that.
Do you?
Of course. I'm not expecting you to say, yeah, well, sure, Marco. Sounds fantastic. It's a date.
Well, good. Aren't you telling me to make up my mind this minute?
Do you really think I was that insensitive? Come on now, Sam. I wouldn't want you to say yes unless you were absolutely sure.
Sometimes I'm not sure what you want from me.
I told you I get a little carried away sometimes. I can't help it. You're so beautiful, Sam. And I care so much.
Marco, you know I don't like letting you down like I do, but I can't help it. Don't you see, when I do something, it has to be right when I do it.
And that's exactly as it should be. You know something a lot of girls your age don't.
What?
What you're worth. And listen, no matter what a guy says, he values a girl only as much as she values herself.
And that's my father's line. He's got a private phone.
Kind of the shrink hotline?
Right.
Yeah, well, I think I ought to be going. Hey, now, look, Sam, it's been a very heavy evening and you've got a lot to think about.
Marco, I'm not ready for you to leave yet.
And I don't really want to go. But I think I should.
Hi, Dad.
Good evening, Dr. Vernon.
Oh, Marco. I didn't know you were here.
Oh, I just dropped by to see your lovely daughter.
Yes, she is lovely, isn't she?
Dad, I heard your phone. I hope nothing's wrong.
I've an emergency. I have to go out. You know, Sam, you better be getting to bed pretty soon. You have to be at the health club early in the morning.
Yeah, and I was just leaving. Nice to have seen you, Dr. Vernon.
Good night.
I'll talk to you tomorrow, Sam.
Okay, that's fine. Good.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. It's not that late, Dad.
No, of course not. You can stay up as long as you like. Do my key.
Oh, here they are.
Thanks, honey. I won't be long.
Sorry, Joy. I just couldn't help myself. I'm trying to comprehend all this, and it just doesn't make sense yet. Could we please start from the beginning?
All right.
And tell me, you didn't know anything was wrong with you until you had the first seizure, right?
Well, not exactly. No, I started getting headaches. My vision was blurry from time to time. It went on for about a month.
And then one day a headache led to a seizure, right?
That's right. I was here in this office. Dorian was here. We were talking, and the next thing I was out on the floor, cold. When I came to, I tried to brush it off as nothing.
Yeah, you would do that.
He must have got the sickness. Well, Dorian, being a doctor, wouldn't let me brush it off, so she made appointments for me to have tests at Richmond Memorial and in New York.
I do not understand why you let her talk you into going to Richmond. Why didn't you have the test around you?
But, sweetheart, I didn't want to make a big to-do about something that might have turned out to be nothing.
But not even to tell me.
Sweetheart, you're the last person in the world I wanted to alarm. Honey, you've already been through so much. With Kevin being kidnapped. After we got him back, you were afraid all the time. I just couldn't put you through anything. That's all.
Joe, I am your wife. I love you.
Honey, it's because you love me. I couldn't. Please, friend.
I am trying.
You know, it might have turned out to be nothing.
But then you found out that it wasn't nothing. It was, in fact, something quite serious, or might have been.
Well, then I couldn't tell you because, what was the...
few days, don't you? And Dorian?
Well, she tries to act as though it's nothing serious. I know she's worried.
You didn't tell me because you didn't want to hurt me. And you know, the thing that hurts me most is the thought that you had to go through all this pain, all this worry all alone. You've been very distant for a long while. I wondered why. At least now I know. Well, the one thing is you are not alone anymore. From now on, I'm going to be with you. Joe, let me ask you something. What about calling Jim?
Sweetheart, it wouldn't do any good.
Let me do it.
There isn't anything anybody can do until the next brain scan.
When is that?
In a week. There is one thing I haven't told you yet.
What?
When I convinced you to go up to the mountains, I did it because I was afraid I might harm Kevin.
What on earth do you mean by that?
Honey, if I was holding him when I had a seizure, I could drop him or fall.
Well, we can deal with that. Now that I know about it, I'll simply make sure to be with you whenever you're home from him. You say, is there anything else?
Oh, yes, there is. There's one other thing. I might get destructive during a seizure.
Destructive how?
I don't know. I might lash out. I might, damage things before I pass it.
Sweetheart, that doesn't make sense. How could you do that in the middle of a seizure?
Well, I don't know. But I have done it. At Dorian's. I had a seizure, and when I came to, the place was an absolute shambles. I'd damaged things, I'd broken things, I hit out at her. I wasn't conscious of doing it, but I did it. If I ever did anything at all to hurt you or Kevin physically, I just can't trust myself.
Joe, you and I have lived through a lot of crises together. And we've always come out on top. And we're going to live through this one, too. Mrs. Moore, Dr. Vernon is here.
Hello, Dorian.
Hello, Will. I'm sorry we dragged you out of your bed so late at night. Really, it's nothing.
Not a word for Felicia told me.
Felicia's a loyal servant who tends to over-dramatize. Really, I'm fine. But Mrs. Lord, you were so upset. Yes, I know I was upset, a little hysterical, but as you can see, I'm quite fine.
Okay, if I stick around a while, just for myself.
If you wish. And that'll be all, Felicia. Thank you again. Yes. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Good night. Are you drinking much?
I'm just sick over my rotten, loveless life.
Is that what this is all about?
Yes, of course. What else? Love drives a lot of people to hysterics, isn't that right? Well, tonight, that's what happened to me. I am unloved. I'm not going to get him. And I was so sure I would.
Mr. No name.
Mr. No name. Right now, he is probably in the arms of his beloved wife. That weak woman who has absolutely nothing to offer him. I don't see why she always wins.
And you've lost.
Oh, yes. I lost. In fact, I'm the big-time loser. At this time, I was so sure I had it all set up. He had to go to New York for another medical examination. I was going to go with him. I was going to comfort him, soothe him, be indispensable to him.
And seduce him.
That's right. Well, now his wife is going to be with him. And that fact is tearing me up inside.
I'm sorry for your unhappiness, girl. Right now you think it'll never go away, but it will. And then perhaps you can make a new start. Fall in love with a man who's available, a man you can win.
No one ever falls in love with me. I can't even get people who like me. No, all I have is money and emptiness, and the money can't alleviate the loneliness, so really all I'm left with is the emptiness. You know, ever since Victor died, that's all I do is try to fight the feeling of loneliness. You know, I have to practically beg people to come to have dinner with me. I have to manipulate people just to be with them, anyone. I can't stand that anymore. I just couldn't face another day like today. Or another weekend. God, they're awful.
Because most people are with their families.
Yeah, lucky me, I get to be with my servants.
Dorian, there's got to be an answer.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, this is Voight. Dr. Vernon, sorry to intrude. I just stopped by to check on tomorrow's schedule.
Schedule? Yes, I'll leave the car about 1 o'clock, thank you.
All right. If everything is taken care of, then I'll go home.
No, wait. Actually, there is something else. Could you excuse us a few minutes, please?
Sure.
Will, do you think there'll ever be some way that things can work out that I'll be happy?
Of course, Dorian. With help. You've got to change your pattern of thinking. You've got to start considering other people, not just yourself. I have to go now.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Good night.
Good night.
Dorian, remember what I told you.
I'll try. Oh, God, I'll try. I just now grew up. I thought you'd be a pleasant diversion, but I guess you were wrong. I was wrong, I mean.
No, I think you wouldn't let me go home because you need me.
Well, you just think whatever you want to think.
Oh, you won't admit it. Not even to yourself. But it's true. You need me, Dorian.
Let me go.
Oh, I'll let you go. If you're not careful, baby, I'll let you go altogether.
Oh, what is that?